morning and welcome to Little Workroom Crafts. My name is Davina and today is Saturday the 21st of March. I'm from the southeast coast of the UK. Now this isn't actually a normal podcast video. I have decided this morning as an extra to do a little tutorial. Now I've never actually done a tutorial before, so this will be different. So hopefully it will go all right. I've actually written notes today anyway. To show you how I personally do my English paper piecing. After I did my little video a couple of days ago, I think it was Wednesday, you know, to hope everybody was all right, video, I showed the little bits that I'd made while I've been in isolation. And I've had some questions and some people have been interested, so I thought what I'll do is I'll just do a little tutorial so you know you can see how I do it. And as I have said before in my previous videos, I seem to work with tools that you could easily get, you know, like, yes, as I've said, you know, as soon as the word quilt, knit, crochet is put on a product, it goes up in price, where you can actually use a substitute and buy it normally. So I think, as you can hear, I've still got my cold and I have phoned 111, so I have actually been put officially in isolation now. And but I haven't got it, well, touch wood anyway. So but there we go. So if I have to keep stopping every now and again, it's only because I've got to get a tissue. So I do apologise for that in advance. Right then, so let's actually get going. What I will do is I'll quickly go through some little bits first of the differences of the products, of what I have found over the years, and then I will actually show you how it is done. Okay? Well, there's two ways actually, so yeah, we'll get there anyway. So, as you all know, as I said on Wednesday, I have decided to make a quilt again. I haven't done one for a long time, and it's going to take a while, you know, it's all done by hand. So, but that's the pleasure of it, I will say. So, I have actually been playing around, and this is how far I've got so far. I've got some bits cut out and ready and all done. And this is the pattern I've chosen. And what I will say before I actually go any further is I've got a friend at work when you know when she started and was interested in the English paper piecing, and I did turn around and say to her, whatever you do, do not cover all your papers first, then stitch them all together, because it won't happen. It just, because you'll get bored of one thing and they're all bored of another thing. So what I do is I cover my papers and do a few at a time, and then I stitch them together a few at a time, and then it rotates the two stages of English paper piecing, because it's basically what it is, two stages. And unfortunately, you know, she covered all her hexagons, she started putting them together, and then it's never been finished. You know, hopefully one day she'll get it done, hopefully. But as I just said, hexagons, these days you can use so many different shapes. It really is an open book at the moment. This here, I don't know if you can see, I'll pick it up. This here is actually my papers, and these are my templates. So, you know, there's different shapes and angles, and you can really have a lot of fun with it all. So yeah, so let's get on with them talking about the different products. Basically, first of all, we'll start with thread. Now, as I have found over the years that you know, threads do evolve all the time. Now, some of us, we like our cotton threads, because obviously with quilters we like cotton thread with cotton fabric. pretty thingy about that actually. But different thicknesses of threads you use for different things. Now, a few years ago I did fall down the rabbit hole, unfortunately, and I wish I hadn't done it. Now, there is this what's called the superior and bottom line thread. Now, it is a polyester. Now, the reason why some people like the polyester is because it is a stronger thread. But this, I find, it just comes out of the needle so easily, so you're spending all the time threading up the needle, so you know, if anybody do actually say anything about the bottom line thread, I personally wouldn't go there. Okay, now when it comes to thicknesses, now there is a lot of us who like the 50 weight. Now the 50 weight, how do I explain this? It's like the needles, the higher the number, the thinner the thread. Okay, so I have tried the 60, and there is with the Urafil, there is an 80 weight. Now these two I would use, this is the 60, I would use for my needle turn applique. Now when it comes to English paper piecing, I would use a 50 weight, because you're actually, when you put the two pieces together, you're over sewing like so. That thread is dragging slightly above your papers, so every time there's a movement, it is slightly shredding. So obviously the thinner the thread, the quicker it's going to break. So I would stick to a 50 weight, because I personally think you can get a lot out of a 50 weight, and it doesn't, it's, you know, touch wood, I've had no breakage. I have yesterday, I did actually order an Urafil. I've noticed it's been quite popular online at the moment. I've never ever tried it, and work, we don't do it at work, so unfortunately I couldn't, you know. But I am, as you know, I am with everything. I love my Metla. I do love my Metla, and that's the 60 in the Metla. That's the 50 in the Metla. But I thought, well, you know, I'll give it a go. So I have ordered it. You never know, it might arrive today. You never know. Okay, another thing as well with English paper piecing, I find, is, which also can save you some money, is when it comes to English paper piecing, you have, it seems to blend. You find 3 shades of fawn. Okay, so I've got here a creamy, a little bit, this is my medium one, and then this is the darker one. You could go like, this is the light, medium, and go darker, or even add a darker on and add 4. But these you will find will blend. Now I have actually used these with a whole of this, and you can't see the stitches. So you know that you don't have to go out and match a colour for a fabric. Just get 3 tones of a fawn, okay, and then you'll be sorted, absolutely sorted. Okay then, so that's the threads. When it comes to the needles, now I have tried, yet again, as I've said, I've tried, and I've stuck with my favourite. And I did go down the Milliner's road a few years ago. Now Milliner's, as you see, are very, very long needles. Now I will say that they are very fine, because, you know, obviously the finer the needle, then there's, because you've got a gap from the fabric, then the paper, and you've got to try and get it in between there. But I kept pricking myself because they're so long, and I ain't used to using a long needle. So by the time I'd actually finished with all the plasters on my fingers, I thought, I'm going to go back to my other one. So these also, the sharps, are very good, because they are yet again a thin long needle. I would go for sizes 9 to 10, okay, because it's got a good eye and it's a nice needle. But the ones I like, I will say, are the Clover black gold needles. They just slip through, they last a long time, there's no bendage. I just like them, I really, really do. They just do the job, basically. They do the job. They are an actual applique sharps needle. So yeah, I'll just show you that there. Anyway, it's black gold needles, applique sharps, number 9. Okay, or as I say, a number 10 will be absolutely fine. Right, now it comes to the templates. Now your templates will automatically have your 1/4 inch seam, because as you know, quilters work with inches, and we always have a 1/4 inch seam. Now the fabric doesn't actually have to be as accurate as the papers, as long as it's either, you know, it can't be under really, because it's just not, it won't work. It has to be a little bit over. If you see the back of mine is a 1/4 inch Okay, that is the back. And then eventually this one here, the middle ones, you could take out and reuse again. I don't know if you can see some of these under here have got holes in where I did actually tack, but at the moment I'm not tacking those, but I'll get into that in a moment. Okay, so this is the hexagon, size hexagon I'm using, which is a 1.5 inch. Now when it says 1.5 inch, if the people that don't know, it is actually the line, the outside line here, well here really, is your finished size. Okay, and but this one here is where you can draw the paper if you want to cut your own papers, and this is for the fabric on the outside, and this is your 1/4 inch seam in the middle. This one yet again is another 1.5 inches. So what you could do yet again is you put dots on your paper, join them up, and then your outside edge. I personally use these for my fabrics. Now this one here, this is from a UK designer. I've got a lot of his. This is Andy. This is Crafty-UK. His templates are brilliant. And as you see, I don't know if the blue might show up on here actually. No. Oh, a little bit better. Yet again, you've got the 1/4 inch seam, but it's also put on, if you see here, your straight grain line, obviously because your diamond, you know, you have to get that on the right grain. But you know, it's not as doesn't have to be, you know, it's not as fussy. So you know, it's English paper piecing. So as I say, a lot of us like to use our cotton fabrics, our craft cottons, but you know, you can do it with other fabrics. You know, it's just quilters, that's all I can say, quilters. But it's a fantastic technique for using up all your scraps. You know, you can go right down to a silly size for a small, as you see on my little bits the other day, to small, and I've actually done 1/4 inch. I will show you quickly actually. I made this a while ago. Now this actually is the 1/4 inch hexagons. You know, so you can get a lot out of your fabrics. You don't have, you know, it's so how do I put it? You know, don't throw anything away if you're going to start this. Right then, let's get in there, shall we? Let's start. Right, so basically the tools you are going to need is your needles, your templates, the papers, which I will talk about in a moment, and which I will say are reusable. You can get them done, and let's start. So I'm going to move you down, and I'm going to show you there's 2 ways of putting the papers around. Oops, sorry. Putting the papers around the fabric around the paper, and then we'll put it together, and then that will be the job done. Okay. Oh, just quickly, actually, this book here, I would recommend. I've had this when it came out, and it came out a few years ago now. 2013 it came out, and I'll tell you what, this is an amazing book. Now in this, as you see, I've marked some pages. It tells you all about the tools I've just spoken about. Okay, it tells you about, oh, that's all your tools still, different fabric, preparing a travel, because this actually can be taken out with you. It's not just a restriction. Then there's all these little projects, and then you've actually got an inspirational bit, okay, which what you can do. And I love the way that it shows what papers you need, and then at the back you've got where you can design your own, and then right at the back here you've got all the templates for the projects inside, if you haven't already got them pre-cut. But I would say an amazing book. I do have a variety, but I always go back to this for the inspiration, which yet again I've come out with another sorry, another quilt. Right then, let's fold you down, shall we? And let's get this done. I've never done this before. Right, okay. You there? Right, I think you are. Okay then. I might have to just delete this bit until I can get you. That's a bit better actually. Yeah, that's better. Right, okay, as you can see, I've got all things laid out here for you. Now my pre-cut papers, but as you can see, look, I've already made a quilt with this. I think I did the one that's on my bed with this. You can reuse, you know, don't just take them out and throw them away. They can be reused. Okay, my pre-cut papers I actually get from a lovely lady called Nancy. She's in the UK. Everything is done in the UK, and she's from Kent. And her business is Lina patchwork.com. She also does Andy's templates as well, but she does do the Urafil thread, and yet again, you know, this is her business, and she would recommend the 50 weight. And she's been using, you know, obviously doing this for years as well. So this is where I get my papers from. Her service is really good. So, you know, go over to her website and give her a go. Okay, right then, so let's start. Now, first of all, I would say get a piece of sandpaper. Now, I know this sounds a bit weird, but trust me, it works. Okay, let me get a piece of fabric. Now, I'll show you why this works. So I'll use this, and get a retractable pencil, or a just a normal pencil will be fine, but I do like the retractables. Okay, can you see that? Let's fold that under there. Put that there. Right then, so let's go down here. Yeah, that's it. Right. Okay, so when you've actually got this on a piece of sandpaper and you draw around. Now, as I say, I use a pencil, but you can use obviously the a wash away pen, or you can just use it, you know, the out of here, the friction pens. But I think, you know, why waste your ink really? But I will say that this wash away pen is very good, because the nib is really good on that. So yeah. Okay, so all you need is a little bit of a line like that. Now I'm going to show you, if you noticed, when you put the sandpaper underneath and I drew around that, that fabric did not move, it grips. Now I will do one, put this here, without the sandpaper. Look, see, look how that fabric moves. Okay, it just makes your life a lot easier with just a piece of sandpaper underneath it. Now I'll show you the difference. Hold down the pressure the same. Look at that. If fabric does not move, it naturally grips, and you still get your lovely line. Okay, so I always have this in my bag. Just get a normal pair of little fabric scissors. I'm going to do these two, and then roughly cut just on the line. As I say, this part doesn't have to be that accurate. It's just the papers that have to be accurate. Right, let's get this done quickly, and then I'll show you the two ways of covering your papers. Oops, I'm going to have to take these to work and get them sharpened, I think, those scissors. Right, so what I will do, I'll cut out one of these for the moment, because I've got a... Right, now I haven't normally been doing it this way. I've only really been using tacking, but this time I thought, no, you know, I'm going to go with the flow. I've got all the tools, so why not use it? And give it a go. So this is the Soline glue stick. It's a basting stick. Now, oh gosh, is that all I've got left? Oh, blimey. Sue Daly, who is the EPP queen from Australia, she swears by this. If I can't get no more because I'm in isolation, I normally get mine from work, I'm going to have to go back to tacking. Oh dear. Right. Okay. Take that out of there. Right then. Okay. So what you do is a lot of people would dot the middle and hold that on. I never do that, I must admit. I just eyeball it. Okay. And then you do a line of glue, but you don't actually go right up to the edge. Okay. And then you fold that over and then put a dot on the fabric and then go along there, fold that over. Okay, I'll do one more and then I will go show you the other half in tacking. So yet again, make sure you put a dot on the fabric, and then like that. Okay, so now say if you're going to be tacking, okay, now there is obviously out there in the market, there's what's called moon thread. It's 1,000 meters and it's normally about 99p, 95p a pound a spool. Now most people will use this on their overlockers. Now as you know, with overlocker, you know, you have 2 threads that will be used more than another 2, so 2 will go down before another 2. And what I normally do is I rotate them over, and then whatever little bits that are left before one runs out, I will keep it for the EPP. Okay, now when it comes to the tacking, I must admit I will use a sharps needle. Let's get this out of here. Okay, you watch, I've gone, yeah I have, I've gone and pick the smallest one you can bloom and find. Typical. Should have done this previously. Right then, okay, so tacking. So you get your say an old thread you've got, or you know, because let's face it, all it's going to be done is tacked round and then taken out and thrown away. So don't go and use expensive thread. And you fold that over. I always put a knot in mine and leave it at the front, and then you know, you don't have to do small tacks. I normally do one in the middle, fold over your edges, come up here, go across the corner. But you just see really how quick the gluing is, you know, to be honest. Whoops, caught on my finger. So but it looks like I'm gonna have to go on to the tacking stage. Oh well, that's what happens. So and then fold that over like that, get to the end. I always make sure when I am tacking, if you just see, that I do go across my corners like that and hold the corner down, and then all I do is, because there's no point in really, you know, it's a tack, there's no point in really doing anything major. Oh sorry. So what I'll do is just do a little over stitch like that, and then there you go. So there's one, that's tacked, that's glued. It does the same purpose, exactly the same job, it's just that one is quicker than the other. That's it. What I will say is, you know, obviously a lot of people do start with the hexagons, but like with my quilt at the moment, it's got hexagons and a 60-degree diamond. When you're doing a diamond, it's all the same procedure, but you will have what they call dog ears here and here. And you've just got to make sure that the dog ears are on the opposite way of sticking out. So you don't want this one stuck down there. You know, this is sticking up this way, this is sticking down that way. That's all you've got to remember. Okay. Right then, so let's show you how we put these together after they're made. So all you do is you put right sides to right sides. I get one of my little needles, which I've already got threaded actually. I was good there. With my fawn. Just tie a little knot in the end. Now what I always do is underneath the seam here, I will always hide my knot. Just makes it look a little bit neater. Then you hold it together and then you go above the papers. Okay, see if I could show you. Oh, here. Try not to get my fingers in too much. And just over sew. Okay, that's all you do, is just over sew. About 1/8 of an inch apart. You know, don't do it too tight. Otherwise, it can distort it all. And just make sure you try and make sure that you go over the papers. And you know, you get into a rhythm. I should have my thimble on actually, but there you go. Get into a rhythm of just over sewing, go down to the end, and then just start joining your hexagons together. It really is a little pleasure of a craft. There you go. I could really do with a little one of my darker threads actually, but then again, when you pull it tight like that, look, you can't really see it. Okay, so what I will say is when we're going to add in another shape, don't be afraid. You know, you'll start here to here and then go down, and then obviously this has got a twist round to here. You know, you can bend your papers. They all, as you see with my piece, they all will lay flat in the end. So, you know, don't worry about that, and you can hold them in your hand. So, you know, all I say is give it a go and enjoy. Let me lift you back up again. Oh, there we go. Oh, dear. Right then, okay, so that basically is English paper piecing. So you just get all your different shapes, as long as the outside edge shape matches. Like I've got 1.5 inch hexagons with 1.5 inch diamonds, 60-degree diamonds, and you know they all are going together and match. So I've got one there, and I have another one diamond here, and that's what's given me my block, which is basically break that down, a hexagon, and 2 diamonds. Okay, but as I say, you know, do some research, go onto Pinterest, or there is a lot of people out there that are on Instagram that does this. There's Emma from, oh, was it, oh, actually I've got her written down here actually, from another, because she's actually at the moment doing a, yeah, vintage sewing box. She's doing the hashtag slow stitch along this month. You know, go over to the hashtag slow stitch along on Instagram. The inspiration there. I know there is other crafts, because that is like, you know, where you just want to chill out, slow down, and you know, do your bit. You know, in the day. But there's Emma. Oh yeah, Zoe Mason, and she's also an EPP. But you know, there's a lot out there, you know, just to get some inspiration on what you can do with different shapes and so on. So I think I have actually covered everything. I think I have. Bear with me, sorry. Oh dear, so I spoke about the book. So yeah, but as I say, English paper piecing is a good one. It really, really is a good one. Right then, so I'll be closing up now. What I will say is how, obviously, you know, like a lot of us, I mean, is in isolation. And what I'm finding I'm doing is to keep my mind going all the time with different things. It's like in the morning, I'm normally up here in my little workroom and I'm stitching around some bags, you know, ready for when I do open my shop. So I've got some stuff to put in there. And in the afternoon, I'll sit and do my quilt. And then in the evening, I'll either do my knitting or my cross stitch. So my day is broken down with different crafts. You know, otherwise I think if I do one craft for so long, I just get bored and I get put away, and I don't want that to happen. So that's how I'm coping with it, you know, being indoors. And yeah, so, you know, give it a go and let me know what you think. So what I will say is, please have fun, okay? Keep positive. We've all got to keep positive now. We really do. Stay safe and happy crafting. I'll see you soon. Bye.